Responding to the multi-textured theme of light and darkness, I've decided to start with a quote by Carl Jung, stating that in order to become enlightened, we should really focus on the dark rather than search for the figures of light. The objects I am using are minimal and mostly from recycled materials. The most dominant piece in this installation or mixed media piece would be the fragmented disco ball. To that again, I did a little bit of research and found a renowned Italian DJ, Giorgio Moroder, who quoted that disco ball is a perfect symbol of unity and diversity. And we all recognize its joyful surface, where the light and darkness is doing its own dance. But in fact, soon as the little shards of light are removed, all we are left with is an empty shell made out of polystyrene, which I feel is a reflection on our fractured society. So there is this duality between shiny and sparkly, and then dark nature of the object, which is in fact dull and empty. Complementing this quite strong visual element are these barely visible sculptures made out of silicone and silk threads. They are in the shape of human hands, and they are simultaneously reflecting missing hands of dancers who used to enjoy the nightclub. But also they pay homage to long ballroom gloves of 17th century dancing generation. Their structure is also emulating the monochrome mosaic of the orb, but most importantly, it indicates an encasement. It's almost like a cage or a prison through which white light, when it passes through, splits into every color of the rainbow, and that is lightly alluded to in a left piece. Now, to intensify the feeling of light and dark, and following on a quote of Carl Jung, I've decided that I'm going to draw the shadows that these very light sculptures cast. The objects are barely visible, but the shadows they cast are very prominent. I decided that every day I move the pieces slightly and draw new shadows, and at the end of the exhibition, these drawn shadows will become echoes of the past, experienced in a fully lit present. Now, reflecting on this piece, it's much less about the club dancing generation, it's much less about John Travolta and Saturday Night Fever. I feel it's more reflecting the painting of Edward Hopper, The Nighthawks, which is looking at our society and reflecting our present behavior. It is a piece which is in constant transformation, just like light and shadow never stay still. So it doesn't conform to any tradition. It's impossible to own, it's impossible to quantify. It simply exists. And here I am again reflecting on people like Carl Jung and also E.H. Gombrich, who stated that in a world filled with visual information, our perception is really selective, so we become what we see. And so my piece is trying to entice the public to come and have a deeper look. It doesn't have an immediate visual impact. It actually demands from the viewers to come and search. And once it's experienced fully, and once you get the feeling of the moving time and the light and darkness moving constantly with our time, it becomes much, much deeper. So it plays on many feelings, many metaphors, and most importantly, it reflects the given theme of light and darkness in its very unique way. Now, a little bit from behind the scene, making these composite was a work which took over a year. I know it looks seemingly simple, but every day I was coming to my studio with east-facing windows and observing the disco ball throwing light and shadows onto the walls, which I thought was quite fascinating phenomenon. And so I played with it. Obviously, coming here, the natural light isn't the same as it was in my studio. I had to rely on artificial lighting, so it was quite scary process for me to come here because I could not anticipate how the real light and shadows will behave. But I'm very happy the way everything turned out, and also very proud of these sculptures because making those wasn't an easy process. They are constructed from minute, tiny stitches, which are embroidered onto water-soluble fabric, which is then subsequently dissolved. Again, sort of playing on this duality of presence and absence. And so it took many attempts before I reached the desired shape and structure on them. You can see it here, and with the light which is provided by the gallery, it works beautifully, and I am really quite happy with the result. Thank you.